do you want to be sure of where you're going to spend your eternity? I mean, I'm not gonna say that I'll tell it in the best way possible, but if you want to be sure and know that for sure you're making it to heaven, because I mean, who would you want to know if they're going to heaven or not? We're all sinners, we all make mistakes, we all feel like there's no way God can love us or want us the way we are, but that's not true. Those are all lies by the enemy, because he doesn't want you to believe that you're more than the lies he tells you, you get? Because he knows that he lost another one, and he doesn't want he wants everyone to suffer with him, basically. So you have to also watch out for those lies that he tells us. So when for this, there's a story in the Bible, yeah. It's in Luke chapter 29, I think. So now basically it's for when Jesus was hanging on the cross, yeah. And then on one side there was a guy who was mocking him, who was saying, if you're really the Son of God, then save yourself, save us. Basically it's like how are you talking to God like that? Don't you fear God? And so now the guy on the other side rebuked the one who said those things and was like, don't you fear God even till death? And then he looked at Jesus and then he said, Lord, remember me when you go to your kingdom. Just that. He didn't have to go to a church and get baptized. He didn't have time to go and make right all the wrongs he did. He didn't have time to fix anything. He knows he wasted his whole life. That's why he was on that cross to begin with. He knew he wasted his whole life. He knew he messed everything up. He knew for sure that he deserves the punishment that Jesus took on his behalf. He knew very well, because he said as well, Jesus has done nothing wrong. Jesus did nothing wrong, and he's on the cross. But himself, he knew that he did wrong. He messed up so many times. That's why he was there, But he was humble and said, Lord, remember me. He didn't have time to go and do anything. There was no time. It was him and himself in that moment. He couldn't go do works. He couldn't go fix things. He couldn't anything. He was on the cross. He knew he was hopeless in that situation. He knew he was hopeless in that moment. And sometimes we try to overcomplicate the good news. We try to overcomplicate. There's no way that's okay. No, let me continue. So Jesus was like, surely today you will be with me in paradise. So wait, what happened there? It's all grace. It was grace. He couldn't do anything in that moment. He couldn't do anything. Like am I helping you understand how crazy it is? He was hopeless and useless before God in that moment. There was nothing he could offer God. Nothing at all. He was hopeless. And so he just went and said, remember me. And Jesus was like, yo, that's good enough for me. That's good enough for me. Surely today you will be with me in paradise. It's all grace. That's how you can know if you're making it to heaven. It's grace. There's nothing you can do for God. There's nothing you can offer him. There's nothing you can do. That's why God took it upon himself to come down here and die for us. Because he said on the cross, it is finished. Meaning, what was required for us to make it to heaven was completed by himself. So now all we have to do is believe that we are saved by grace through faith. You just have to believe that God did it for you, man. You just have to believe that God did it for you. You just have to accept it, man. You're not being told to do this and this and this. No. You don't even have to be you don't even have to know all your verses, man. You don't even have to be... Look at the Pharisees back in the day. They knew the whole scripture, and yet they couldn't see the word made manifest before them. God is literally the word. In the beginning was the word, and the word was God. They couldn't see the word right before their very eyes. They knew the whole word, and yet look at them. They were just prideful. They literally went against all of God's teachings. You get what I'm saying? So you could be this. You could go to church every Sunday. You could read your word every day. You could pray every day. But that is not what's going to save you. You're going to be saved by grace only. Only by grace, through faith. That's the only way you can be sure that you're going to make it to heaven. So so you could be asking, you could be wondering, but I don't have that strong faith. You don't have, no, it's okay. It also says in the word that with faith the size of a mustard seed, you can tell this mountain, move from here to there. Basically, you can have faith so little, you can just believe only that God died for you on the cross. He didn't have time to believe anything else. You get? You just have to believe that you're saved by grace through. You just have to accept it and know that God really does love us, and He made it so easy for us to be saved that we don't even have to do anything. It's not by works. It's not by any human effort. Our righteousness before Him is like filthy rags. How can you change the mind of someone who's so holy? We're like filthy rags before Him. So it's like, okay, no, because of our sin, our righteousness, these holy works we try to do, it's like filthy rags before Him. But see, He loves us so much that He took it upon Himself to make it so easy for us to be saved. How wonderful is that, man? I'm telling you, this grace of God's, it's you're not finding anything like that anywhere else. So let's accept this wonderful opportunity we've been given, because it's there. Why would anyone refuse God's love on earth? You reject God on earth, and then you want to spend eternity with Him in heaven. How does that make any sense? It's like going to the office only. Actually, you don't even go to the office at all. You've been hired, you don't go to the office at all, but you expect to still have a job. You expect to still be able to go there. No, how? No, if on earth you can't be allowed to, how much more heaven? This is literal paradise for eternity, man. So let's be serious about this as well. We can't be rejecting God and then expect to go to heaven. It doesn't work like that. So let's do what we need to do. Let us have faith and believe that God actually did it for us. The enemy will try to take that truth away from you, but truth is truth at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't matter what your feelings are telling you. It doesn't matter what your situation is telling you. That is the truth, and the truth is the truth. So let us accept it for what it is. So understand today that if you're believing and trusting that God will save you, just know you're already saved. Just know you have a spot in heaven, because it's all grace. Even I, nothing I can do can get me into heaven. I'm also saved by grace through faith. Same way you, same way anyone else who's come before us, and same way anyone else who's going to come after us. So let's take advantage of this wonderful opportunity and accept God's love, while we still can. Because that grace, it's something else, man.